Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the invisible architecture of our social lives. We're talking about the psychology of groups. You know, from your family to your workplace, these forces are shaping you in ways you might not even realize.
Just think about it for a sec. How many groups are you really a part of? I mean, you've got your family, your close friends, your coworkers, but what about that sports team or a book club or even an online community you're really into? We all live inside this crazy, intricate network of groups, and their influence on who we are is just profound.
You know, in social psychology, this is a really key distinction. A bunch of random people standing around in the same place? That's just a collection. But a true group? Well, that's something way more powerful, way more defined. So what's the magic ingredient?
So, here's the big takeaway. A group isn't just about people being in the same spot. It's about active interaction, having a shared purpose, and the stable connection where what one person does actually affects everybody else. And this is crucial. The members themselves have to feel like they belong to that unit. Okay, so let's really break this down. What are the core characteristics of a group? We can pretty much look at the DNA of any group, whether it's a family or a massive company, and find a few essential building blocks.
These four things are basically the engine that makes a group run. You've got mutual influence, where you're all shaping each other's behavior. You've got a shared fate, this idea that you're all in it together. There's a common goal that gives everyone direction. And then there's that all-important we feeling. When all these gears click into place, a bunch of individuals becomes this cohesive unit that can create, achieve, and powerfully shape behavior.
Of course, not all groups are created equal, right? The group you have dinner with is a whole different beast from the team you're on for a tight deadline. Social psychologists actually classify groups based on how they work and the kind of relationships inside them.
So first up, we've got the difference between primary and secondary groups. Think of your primary groups as your inner circle, your family, your absolute closest friends. The bonds there are super personal, really emotional. Secondary groups, they're a bit more transactional. They're built around a specific task or an interest, like a project team at work or maybe a local sports club.
And here's another key distinction: formal versus informal groups. Formal groups, like a company or a classroom, they operate with really defined structures and clear, explicit rules. But informal groups, like your circle of friends, they just kind of happen more organically. The rules are still there, for sure, but they're usually flexible and totally unspoken. And this brings us to one of the most powerful things a group does. It gives us a sense of identity. The moment we identify with a group, we instinctively start to slice up our social world into us and them. This creates that fundamental in-group versus out-group dynamic. The in-group is us, the group we feel like we belong to. And everyone else, they become the out-group, or them. This simple little act of categorization is a cornerstone of our social identity, and it powerfully shapes our attitudes, our loyalties, and yeah, even our biases. What's really fascinating is that every single group, it doesn't matter if it's formal or informal, has a rule book. But here's the catch: most of the time that rule book is completely invisible. These are the group's norms, the shared expectations for how you're supposed to act. They dictate pretty much everything, from how you dress and what you talk about to how you do your work. These unwritten rules are constantly guiding our actions, helping the group run smoothly, often without us even realizing we're following them. Now, the force that holds a group together and gives its norms all that power is called cohesiveness. It's like the social glue that binds everyone together. And the more cohesive a group is, the stronger that glue is, the more influence it has over every single member. And that leads us to our final and maybe most revealing point. So, what happens when your own eyes are telling you one thing, but everyone else in your group is insisting on something totally different? What do you trust, your own senses or the group? This is exactly what the famous Asch conformity experiment put to the test. So here's the setup. A participant was put in a room with a bunch of other people who are all secretly actors. They were all shown a line and asked to match it to one of 3 other lines. It was super easy, totally obvious. But then the actors started giving a clearly wrong answer, one after the other. And the results were, well, they were astonishing. A staggering 76% of the real participants went against the clear evidence of their own eyes at least once, just to conform with the group's wrong answer. They knew it was the wrong response, but they gave it anyway just to fit in. When they were asked why they did it, the most common justification they gave boiled down to this one thought: that many people cannot be wrong. It just shows the immense, almost gravitational pull of the group,
a force so powerful it can make us doubt our own clear judgment.
So here's the bottom line. These ideas, group types, social identity, norms, the pressure to conform, they are not just academic theories. They are the invisible operating system running in the background of our daily lives. They influence our decisions at the office, our conversations with friends, and how we act in public.
So think about it. Which group's unwritten rules have the biggest impact on you? Answering that might just change how you see your own social world. By becoming aware of these powerful dynamics, we can better understand ourselves, our choices, and the incredible influence of the groups we all belong to.